Okay, tell me your name.
Jacob Uclea. I am from South Florida, from a city called Weston, Florida, and I am a freshman. One moment where I guess I could say I experienced failure, but it ended up actually bringing me to where I belonged by learning from it, was that I guess in the scheme of college acceptances, Duke was probably my last acceptance, if not one of the first ones I had. I had many rejections prior to that from various institutions, I guess some of the other Ivies, a few out-of-state schools. But I think through that failure, I guess one with early action learning, I guess from experience, maybe what I did wrong, I used it to perfect what I would say, or try to perfect my Duke app, as well as I guess seeing that sometimes failure can actually show you that it may not be a particular failure, but actually bring you where you belong. I would say so. I think we all have our personal failures, no matter how large, that I think are little inhibitions and failures that we use to motivate ourselves, but maybe we don't necessarily have to share with anyone. Hearing someone else fail is an acknowledgement that maybe you're not the only one. You are not the only one who has experienced failure in the past. And therefore, I don't want to say it's comforting, because of course no one wants to hear other people's failures. We want everyone to be successful, but it lets you know that there are other people who have experienced similar things, and maybe you can share ideas, talk about these issues, talk about what maybe led to the failure, and amalgamate the actual reasons to the failure and try to improve upon it. It's always nice hearing a success story from failure, so I would definitely say that that could be a comforting factor, but I guess more so hearing, maybe it's also nice to see someone while still in the process of finding that success, because it shows you how it's very easy, I guess, in hindsight with that 20/20 vision to discuss success from failure, but then while you're actually still at that potential low, recovering from failure and going towards pushing yourself towards success, that's always an incredible experience as well to hear about, seeing how people adjust and react. Funny failure story. Recent failure story was my brilliant recent attempt at trying to be successful in completing an assignment before an 8:45 lab. And so my process was initially, it was about 12, it was midnight. I told myself, if I nap for a little bit, I could still wake up with 2 hours left and successfully finish the assignment and have plenty of time to, print out the required materials and still get to lab on time. However, I actually ended up oversleeping due to, while I did wake up and finish the assignment, before I headed out, I told myself, I can't believe that worked. I can doze off for a minute, I'll set an alarm, but of course, for various reasons, my alarm didn't go off, I guess, and so I had to sprint, quite tardy actually, to my bio lab, but it worked out in the end. I'd say that the most important thing I've learned through failing is that it's a natural thing to fail. That people, I think failure has such a negative connotation amongst people that, when someone fails, it's automatically they did something wrong, but people don't realize that failure, there's so many quotes about, Thomas Edison, when he didn't just find 1,000 ways, like when he had 1,000 failures, he actually had 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. So the expressions like that, where really it's an experience to see how your mind possibly works, and maybe when solving a challenge, how you approach things and how you can learn from what you've done. And so it gives you, I guess, a nice personal, reflection of what you did and how you can improve on it. So it's definitely a chance to improve on yourself.